Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly astrological and tarot forecast. This is for all signs and this reading will be for October the 14th to October the 21st, 2024. It is bound by these dates because we are looking at the astrology as well and how this may impact you. So I wanted to mention 3 key astrologically significant themes coming up for us all in this week. Firstly, full moon in Aries, October 17th. And this full moon marks the end of our 2024 eclipse season. So this means it's a time to let go of all self-doubt, you guys, and to focus on your personal growth and identity. After the eclipse season, with all the changes that it activated for you, who do you want to be? Where do you want to grow towards? Just remember, with full moons, emotions may quite possibly run high, and with the full moon in Aries, these emotions may look like pride, or it may look like assertiveness, very much focused on the Aries energies. Secondly, Venus enters Sagittarius on October the 17th. So Venus is the planet of love, as you guys know, and she is moving into Sagittarius, which is quite adventurous, right? And explorative. This transit encourages us to be open-minded and to have an attitude of exploration when it comes to our relationships. Now, these relationships can be both romantic and platonic. Business, personal, doesn't matter. It's definitely a period this week for looking for new experiences and to see how you can expand your social horizons. Where do you want to go socially? How do you want to expand yourself and your social interactions, your social circles? And then thirdly, Venus opposes Uranus on October the 14th today. And this aspect can bring really unexpected events or feelings, specifically in social interactions with others. So there might be a sense of restlessness and a desire for change. And this will lead to quite surprising developments in relationships. So just a quick recap on the astrology. These themes in this week talk about emotional intensity. It speaks about personal growth as well as adventurous connections. So really open yourself up and intend to use the supportive astrological energies for yourself, for your own improvement and growth. So let's have a look and see what comes out on your cards for the week ahead with these themes and energies surrounding us. And remember, it's not just for you, it's for everyone. So it's always important when you deal with others, specifically this week, being so heavy on our relationships and connections, it's always important to look at others from the viewpoint that they are feeling exactly what you are feeling. It's just that they don't have the backstory and the understanding that you do. So the responsibility does fall on our shoulders to be mature and wise, as well as understanding and compassionate towards others who may not be so aware of the inner workings of the journey, right? So, with that being said, I'm using the Osho Tarot for you guys this morning, and let's see what would like to come out. My guides are saying 9 cards, so here we go. Number 2, possibilities. How wonderful. Definitely a week of great possibilities in our own personal advancement is ahead of us. The Hermit, which is aloneness in the Osho Tarot, second card, with the Empress, creativity. It's important for us all this week to remember our solitary times. This is where we are going to be plugged into our source, connected to the divine, and where we can start understanding how we can flow even more of our soul's creativity, of our soul's intention into this third dimensional reality. So this week, definitely find quiet time. Keep your boundaries in place. Make sure that you have alone time, quality alone time with yourself and your higher self. Regularly, I would say every single day this week, make space and time for it so that you can find opportunities and possibilities of how to flow the energy of creativity through from the spiritual realms or the realms of mind into your third dimensional reality. So this week we have the opportunity to take dreams and make them real. Very important. This is going to ask you for alone time, meditation, withdrawing into yourself so that you can focus on the internal guidance of how to bring in the magic into your everyday life this week. Let's look at the next 3. Again with the silence, you've got 2 cards in a row here. First, aloneness in the Hermit, and then the Hangman's silence. This is coming up extremely strongly for all of us. Our alone time and silence is going to be the thing that is going to anchor in and bring to totality many of our manifestations this week. My guides are really connecting this manifestation energy with Venus this week. It's like my guides are saying, finally, for a lot of us, big manifestations that we have been working on for years are going to come to fruition this week. It's very real. It's very, very possible. And alone time and silence is needed for grounding this strongly into your reality. Don't compromise on your dreams and your goals this week. You guys, you've got to be a rebel this week when it comes to your personal goals, your own expansion, and choosing what experiences you want in your reality. This week, you've got to be rebellious when it comes to your alone time, when it comes to your solitary time, because in this time, you will receive direction. And if your boundaries are overstepped, you are going to miss out on the required direction that you need, the required guidance that you need. So do not compromise this week on your goals, your intentions, your dreams, and your own time Meditation is extremely important this week. Your guides are telling me here that you will be able to complete the puzzle this week, and true understanding this week about how powerfully you can use your creativity will come through in your still times, in your silent times, in your meditations. So be rebellious this week and absolutely demand that your boundaries are respected, because you don't want to miss the memo. And this is the risk that you will be taking if you allow people to fill every second and every minute of your day this week. I really feel also, I'm hearing the word culmination in my head. And Spirit is saying that this week, through meditation, you can also focus on drawing in past life experiences, instances in your past life where you have perfected a talent, and you can actually reach into your soul's distant past and reactivate those talents that you worked so hard on in every one of your past lives. Remember that possibilities are only as big or small as we make them for ourselves. You make the rules in your universe because you are the center of your own universe. So you can definitely this week in your meditative practices decide to reactivate talents and gifts that you perfected from your past lives. Watch out for memories from your past lives popping up, coming to the surface. That might be important for some of you. And then I'm also picking up that this week, specifically when it comes to our relationships and important connections with others, this week you can also expect expansion in your relationships due to karma finally being paid off in that specific relationship. So do be open to that. Do open yourself up to compromise so that you can finally get rid of karma in some of your connections this week. I would like to get some additional information for you. Hold on a sec. Let's just get some advice from the tea leaf reading cards in the 3 areas that I mentioned when we kicked off this reading. Advice and guidance for my collective, for their highest good, for the full moon in Aries on October the 17th, specifically, regarding the release of self-doubt and focus on personal growth and identity. What's the advice there for my collective, please? 2 cards, rat. Okay, the tea leaf reading cards are saying regarding the full moon in Aries, it actually makes so much sense. A lot of you can specifically look at your childhood programming, especially connected to the programming you received from your mother, and ask yourself, what about the way that my mom brought me up, and what about the things that my mom might have said to me? What about that programming is actually working against me and holding me back and preventing me from being a higher version of myself. Now, we are not pointing fingers here towards our moms. Remember, we often make our own assumptions and build our own understanding around something or around everything that happens in our lives. Our mothers could have treated us in certain ways or said something, and we could have assigned a meaning to it that could have been correct, but possibly not. So we are being asked with this full moon in Aries. Remember, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the baby. Who am I going to be? Kind of question. With this full moon, it's important for us all to have a look at what identity have I built for myself based on how my mom related to me as a child and growing up. And was I correct or wasn't I correct? Does it really matter whether I was correct or not? Can I just let it go and choose to build my identity on the way I feel about myself, not on the way that I think other people feel about me? Not based on the way that I think other people think about me. This is very important and very, very powerful. So with the full moon in Aries on October the 17th, I really feel this identity, expansion and growth in our personal identity coming up very, very strongly. Look at patterns and beliefs that you may have created while you were growing up, and see how you can release that and let that go, choosing to build a brand new identity on who you know yourself to be, not based on other people's perceived feelings or thoughts about you. Let me have a look. Let's move on to Venus entering Sagittarius on the 17th of October and see what advice we can get there for the collective, please. So, like I said earlier, Venus enters Sagittarius. Open-mindedness, exploration in relationships, new experiences, and expanding your social interactions. First card out is the Dog's card. Getting together with friends. I can't make it up. Younger woman. And the last card, please. Whale. The advice here for the collective is definitely, with Venus entering Sagittarius, definitely a time for socializing, getting out there, allowing yourself to be seen, shining your light, and making sure that you connect with people who are special to you, and also to see how you can expand into new connections with others. The younger woman card here isn't really talking to me about a woman at all. It is really bringing through the energy of a youthful, fresh, new outlook with a divine feminine energy. So the divine feminine is really receiving and allowing yourself to receive. It is an energy of that says, let me open myself up and look and see what will come to me in this openness, in this vulnerability, right? Divine feminine energies are receptive and allowing. It is inviting. So really also remember to take the lead, make suggestions, invite people out, step outside your comfort zone. The whale says, great worry over nothing. Step outside your comfort zone and see where you can go. How can you explore in a fresh new way relationships, connections, friendships, romance, platonic relationships? How can you explore? How can you expand in a very fresh new way? I'm also hearing in my head my guide saying, explore what you will allow in your life coming up when it comes to relationships, right? Platonic or romantic, doesn't matter. So it's really all about you when we are picking up the divine feminine energy. It's a very internal energy. So you've got to ask the question, what do I want for myself? Where do I want all of my relationships to go? How can it go deeper? How can it go further? How can I give it more meaning for my own highest good? And lastly, let's move on for advice for our third point here, our third theme for the week. Venus opposes Uranus today, October 24. Unexpected events or feelings, particularly when it comes to social interactions. So heads up for that, you guys, today. You might be wanting relationships or connections to change into something more, a sense of restlessness, you wanting this now. And it can really go with that, be open to that, go with that, and allow what feels right to you. Because you're really looking at surprising developments when it comes to your relationships. Looking at the 3 tea leaf reading cards that came out for the advice for the collective is the Bridge card, successfully overcoming a problem, the Lily, spiritual love, and the Casket, someone going out of your life or the end of a situation. This is very clear to me. Do spend time today thinking about your relationships, your connections with people that you are just socially interactive, or maybe interactive on a deeper level. Specifically think on how you desire change. What change do you desire for this particular connection to change and transform, okay? To perhaps end problematic situations with people that you are connected with and turn it into a higher connection by bringing in spiritual love. Now remember, spiritual love includes forgiveness, self-forgiveness, understanding, and compassion, right? If you have those things in your relationships, you are definitely going to be overcoming problems that you may have experienced in your relationships and finally putting that to bed. I also feel like if you come to the conclusion that there is no other option but to walk away from a certain connection, you will be all right with that. You will have the courage to do that, and you will understand why it had to be done. So even if you have to say goodbye to someone, you will have the support and the security and the knowing that this is the right thing to do. You guys, I really hope that this message will serve you very well. I'm sending you so much love. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts. Please hit me up with beautiful comments, and I promise I will reply. I will catch you guys in my next video.